All right, next problem up. So here what we're being asked to find, even though we see the word area being thrown around, what we're being asked to find is the width. So again, one more time. I know how easy it is to just see a trigger word, especially when it comes to math, and think that that's what you have to find. What we see here again is we're given the area, but the real question is what is the width? So I'll highlight that right there. And we have to start taking some clues in here. Because sure, we're looking for the width, but there's no way we'll know how to get the width unless we understand what we're dealing with, like what shape and what relationship that shape has to what we're looking for. So here we go. I take a look at the first sentence and it says a rectangular floor. Okay, great. Dealing with a rectangle, nice and easy. So I'll just go ahead and blindly draw a rectangle right there. And then it says that this rectangle has an area of 80 square feet right there. And I'll go ahead and just write that here. Area equals 80 square feet. We're looking for the width. And it looks like we are given the length. The length right here is 10 feet. Awesome, we'll write that down. L equals 10 feet. And now we really have to ask ourselves, how do I get to the width? Because if I look at my formula, if I check everything out as is, my formula is the area of a rectangle equals the length times the width. Okay, awesome. But how do I know what to do? And here's a good hint. So anybody who ever asked the question, hey coach, how do I know when I'm working forward, multiplying, or working backwards, dividing? This is how you'll know. Plug the proper numbers into the right places. Let this equation right here, let it tell you where to go. Here's what I mean. This 80 square feet for the area, that's what I'll plug in for the area. So I'll plug in 80 square feet right there. Next, I'm given the length, L. I'm told that it's 10 feet. So I'll plug in 10 feet. And then here, I'll leave that W as is because that's what I'm looking for, the width. So everyone, when we take a look at this, does it look like I'm working forward to try to get to the area? Or does it look like I'm working backward to try to get to that dimension, the width? Of course, yeah, we're working backwards. We already have the area. We're not trying to look for it. We're already given the area. So working backwards is basically just solving an equation. Solve the equation here. If I know that 10 times W is 80, I'm going to work backwards and I'm going to divide both sides by 10. Because remember, that's going to cancel out on the right side, allowing us to get that W by itself. And then we just have to ask the question, what's 80 divided by 10? And that's going to be 8. And there we are. The correct answer is going to be 8 feet. And thus, that is answer choice A. Remember that if we're working backwards, we're just doing the opposite operations or solving an equation. But there we are. Answer choice A is the answer, and we can move forward nice and smooth. All right, so let's handle this problem here. So remember that the first thing that we're always going to do every single time is we're going to read the question sentence first. So when I see how many blue tiles are there, that's what I want to focus my conversation around. Again, how many blue tiles right there? So what I'm going to write down is I'm looking for blue, and I'll just put equals blank. Again, we want to keep that at the forefront of our mind because what we're going to do next is we're going to read through the information that we're given. So carefully, starting right up here, it says blue and green tiles. So again, we're looking for blue, so this is going to be important information. Blue and green tiles are laid in a 2 to 9 pattern. So right over here, this 2:9, that's a ratio which compares two numbers. Again, that's all a ratio is. It's a comparison. Now, the way that it's written is going to be important because we see that the first word is blue and the first number is 2. And then when you look at the second value, green, second number is 9. So the order that it's written in really does matter. It absolutely does. And that's going to tell us that for the ratio, for that comparison, blue is going to be 2, and then green is going to be 9. In terms of the representation of the parts, this is not the actual number of tiles. This is just your comparison. And then in the next sentence right here, it says there are 54 green tiles. So that's where I'm going to write that with this. Why? Well, the reason is we're looking for the actual number of blue tiles, and we have the actual number of green. So you might notice that this top part represents the actual numbers, and then this bottom part represents the comparison, the ratio. So again, we're looking at the comparison or the representation, and this is where that main idea really comes into play. Compare the same things in the same way. I have blue and green compared at the top, blue and green compared at the bottom. That's how we are going to set up a proper proportion. So here's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and write B for blue, and then I'll go ahead and set up my fraction equals another fraction, because that's what a proportion is. And let's get to it. So I'll compare blue on top to green on bottom. So capital B over 54. Again, blue is B, green 54. And I'll compare it in the same way over here. You have to. Consistency is key. So blue is 2, green is 9, and there we go. We have ourselves a proper proportion, and we're good to go. So 2 ways we can actually go about solving this. 2 very simple ways. One, we can do the classic cross multiplication and division, which I recommend if you have nothing else come to the forefront of your mind, no problem. So we have B multiplied by 9, 9B. And then we have 54 times 2. 50 times 2 is 100. 4 times 2 is 8. That'll be 108. Now that we're here, after we cross multiply, classic, we're going to divide right after, and we're done. So you might want to brush up on your multiplication tables if you don't know what 108 divided by 9 is. But if you did know it, we know that 108 divided by 9 is going to be 12. And there we are. So that's going to be the first way that we can do this. Now, I want to just take a quick moment to show you the other way we can do this, which is going to be relying on that same main idea, comparing the same things in the same way. Here's what I meant by that. I can try to find ways to get to the missing value. How do I do that? Well, I can see if there's a noticeable comparison top to bottom. If there's not, then we can try to think about left to right. And right here, yeah, we actually do have a comparison. If you check it out, my party people, you tell me, what do I multiply 9 by to get to 54? Yeah, that's going to be 6. So we can go ahead and just write down this note and say times 6, because we can go from 9 multiply by 6 and we can get 54. Right to left. The main idea here is compare the same things in the same way. If I'm going right to left times 6 on the bottom, that means we can go right to left times 6 on the top. Everyone, help me out with some easy arithmetic. 2 multiplied by 6 gives us 12. Exactly. So we can get the same answer 2 different ways, 2 effective ways, depending on your comfort level. But I really do suggest learning both. That way you can take advantage of it whenever you can. There you are. The correct answer here is answer choice A.